That thing is so seized on there. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the shop. We have a bit of a different type of episode today. We are going to be doing some maintenance. We have off-grid my 2022 4Runner TRD Off-Road Premium in the shop for some much needed love. This poor thing has been neglected and beat on all winter and all spring, and it is overdue for an oil change. The brakes are grinding and it's filthy. We're going to deal with the cleaning part of it a little bit later. We also have some mods for this thing that we're going to be doing. But on this episode, we have brand new Powerstop rotors, calipers, and extreme pads, front and rear. We are also going to be doing its oil change. Always use a genuine Toyota filter. Trust me, Toyotas love these filters. They are super high quality filters. Listen, I've run Fram and Wix and all of those, and some of them are good, some of them really suck. But this vehicle gets driven hard, worked hard, it goes off-road a lot. It needs the best, and especially with these drop-in filters, not the typical screw-on ones, these drop-in filters, which I will show you this later. I'm not showing you right now. You'll have to wait. If you haven't done an oil change on one of these, they're a cartridge style filter, not a standard screw-on filter. But I'm a big fan of Valvoline oil. You guys run whatever you want. We are going to be putting some BG fuel cleaner in the tank. We just filled it up, and we are also going to run liquid moly engine flush. I've used both these products before in several different vehicles. Every single time the oil comes out, nasty. And I've always seemed to find, I guess you'd say, a smoother running engine. I wouldn't say there's any more power or anything. Most of my vehicles are pretty maintained, but idles better, runs smoother, and I've even picked up a little fuel mileage after using the engine flush and the gas fuel system flush. So I'm a huge fan of that stuff. It's got like 65,000 miles on it, I think now. I'll check that. I like to write that down on the filter housing whenever we do an oil change. So brakes, oil change, fuel system cleaner. Let's get this thing on the lift and make it run better. Now the next thing we got to do is add the engine flush to the motor oil and then run this thing for approximately 10 to 15 minutes. We're going to use the same funnel. We wiped it and cleaned it out. Got your oil fill on the 5th gen 4Runner right here in the front on the driver's side. Put that there, give that a little shake, and one whole bottle of this will treat the 6 quarts perfectly that the 4Runner has. So we just dump this in. Again, this is the liquid moly engine flush. All right, that's that. We'll go start this thing and let it run for 10 to 15 minutes. Now it's important to note, do not drive the vehicle and do not rev the vehicle while this stuff is in the oil. Just let it idle. All right. In 15 minutes, we're gonna turn this off, get it up in the air, drain the oil, take this oil cap off, we'll set that there, close this hood down a little bit of the way, up we go. All right, now, thing's so tall with the roof rack and stuff and my low ceilings, I can't get it up high enough to actually walk under it, so we're doing the old hunching routine. Get my drain pan, get some tools, we can get to work. All right, now these 4Runners, they take 6.5 quarts of oil if you're changing the oil filter. I don't know why you would drain your oil without changing the filter. Don't ever do that, just change the filter. But 6.5 quarts with the filter change. I love these big funnels, and they have a screen inside too. Make sure your funnels are clean, people. Get in there. So This guy here is 5 quarts. We will dump this in its entirety. That's that. Now that will drain down in there. While we're waiting for that oil to drain, we can come over here and check our air filter while we're at it, which that's a simple process. You got these 4 clips, pops off the airbox lid, and then sometimes you can get away with leaving that on there. I just like to lift this up and get our filter out. Oh yeah, we can clean this filter up. What a mess. How dirty that is. We'll take the air gun and blow that out really. You know, there was a bee nest in it at one point. Those are all bees. That's not dirt, it's bees. Never seen that before. Well, that's better. We got that cleaned out. All our snorkel connections look good. Put that back in there, and then get this lined up so that it will seat back where it's supposed to, like that. Make sure you get all your clips on here. We're a little low on power steering fluid, so we'll top that off. Set that there. Let's go grab some power steering fluid. Power steering fluid going in. If I can get the bottle down where it needs to be, right there. We are good on power steering fluid. Now, I am not going to mess with the brake fluid because we're gonna work on the brakes, so we will check that then. We have a relocated washer bottle for our windshield washer fluid in this truck, which is over here, and we are very low on that. So on stock 4Runners, the washer fluid reservoir is actually right in front of the front tire on the passenger side. So when you have bigger tires, they actually hit that washer bottle. So there's a couple companies now that make relocation kits. I forgot which one this one is. I'd have to look it up. I think it's something like Snowbird or something like that, but it's a nice aluminum tank. It mounts right up here behind the headlight. Let's see if I can pour this without making a mess. Probably not. I should just get a funnel. Who doesn't love a good test? Oh, good pour. Let's go. Don't get greedy. Oh, that was perfect. It's right at the top, and it was exactly what I had left in this container. That never happens. That oil drain down, can you guys see that for me? Let me know. We'll put this 6th quart in, then we will start the vehicle, run it, and then check the oil level before we add the last half quart. All right, let's see here. How's our coolant look? We're a little low, so we can probably add some to the overflow here. Make sure you use proper coolant in Toyotas. They do not like anything except proper coolant. You can just stop right at your Toyota dealer and just buy a gallon of coolant. It's honestly about the same exact price as just buying parts store junk. Okay, it's still hot, but it's not real hot. So I'm gonna leave it just below the full hot line, like so. Full cap back on here, and then we can start this thing up. Let it idle a couple minutes, turn it off, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then check our oil level. All right, it's actually idling much better already. Before it had kind of a fluctuation, what I'm trying to say, fluctuation at idle, where it would kind of down a little bit, only like 50, 100 RPMs, but it would every once in a while kind of then drop back down. And it was idling around 800 RPMs, which is a little high for these. Now it's idling right around 700. So obviously all is good. It's good. Clean this oil cap off. Got debris and residue all caked up on it. Make sure to clean that good. Now that that's there, we can check our oil level. Put this over here for the moment. I always like to do this twice. It's saying we are low, so we will add the rest of that oil to it. This is left over from the last oil change, so it's exactly half a quart. That screen in this funnel down the oil a lot, but it's worth it just in case. What do we got now? That looks pretty good to me. 6.5 quarts on the money. Coolant's topped off, power steering's topped off, oil's topped off, air filter is cleaned. We're gonna do the brake fluid when we do the brakes. So I think we're in good shape. Put the oil fill cap back on, and this part of the service is complete. All right, it's late, it's Sunday. I'm gonna go up and spend some time with my wife and dog. I think Athena and Moose are requesting their daddy. We have this thing at night, like, you know, puppy, and she's a snuggler, so She got to curl up on my lap. And then Moose likes to lay right next to me on the couch. And next to him is my wife. So, happy family. So I enjoy my couch time. So we're gonna go do that before we start a long, crazy day at work tomorrow. And we'll get back and hit the brakes on the 4Runner tomorrow night. Late nights, bad ideas. You know what I got going on here. So anyways, hey, check that out. Karma just looks so badass. Even all stripped down, that truck looks so awesome. All right, I'll catch you guys tomorrow when we start the brakes. Yeah. Remember, chrome gets you home, but apparently the impact won't. Get off there. Numero uno, stay. I guess we'll just do the fronts first. Get off of there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, these front brakes are pretty beat up, and they weren't even the bad ones. They smoked. But the back ones are the really bad ones, believe it or not. For some reason, usually cars go through their front brakes first. These 4Runners, these 5th gens, love chewing up rear brakes. I don't really understand why, but they beat up their back brakes more than the front brakes. I don't know, Toyota. You build great stuff, so I ain't arguing. Wheel spacers, gotta go up. Visual inspection says everything looks good. PV boots, ball joints. Everything appears to be copaesthetical. Maybe we'll grease something while we're under here. I don't know, probably not, but maybe. All right. I don't know what size these spacer nuts are. Let's find out. 18? Nope, they're 19. Everybody tell me in the comments how bad wheel spacers are. Because I've probably logged over 500,000 miles on different sets of wheel spacers without one issue. But tell me all about what the internet told you. Leave a comment. Love to hear about it. Because if you had a wheel spacer failure, you did one of two things. You installed it correctly, you stacked them, which is a big no. You ran a ridiculously big wheel spacer, which is also stupid. Don't do that. Or 3, 4, what are we on, 4 now? Number 4, you put them in wrong. You bought cheap ones. Don't do that. Buy a good quality product and make sure you put it in right. Use it appropriately. Get off. That's a good hammer. Off. Wow. All right. We actually need a hammer. We do the things that you don't want to. Don't worry, we don't want to either. Thing is, seized right on there from this winter's rust. It's coming, slowly. There it goes. New York salt add. And mind you, I put anti-seize on the back of these when I install them. And they still got rusted. Don't worry, everybody, we'll clean them up real nice. Pretty sure we superheated these rotors multiple times. All right, now I think we'll pop the brake lines off because we got to replace the caliper. And I didn't think to buy this lower brake line here. So we're gonna spray that with some PB, let that soak for a minute. We're gonna hit it with some heat. Hopefully that works. Apparently we're all out of PB blaster, so that sucks. So we're just gonna spray everything in WD. Not that that's as good, but it'll be better than nothing, I suppose. Yeah, we'll just spray it all. We'll just soak everything. All right, guess that's enough. Yep. Next side. Gotta get some of the oil and stuff off of the sockets we used for the oil change because I forgot to clean those. This 12 millimeter, yeah. Bracket off the spindle that is holding the brake line. So we will take this off first. Okay, we got that loose. I like to put the nut and bolts back right where they came out of immediately so we don't lose them. So that's what I'm doing. Now, I need to get a wrench for this brake line. So this one, is it bigger than that? It is bigger than that, no kidding. All right, need another wrench. And guys, go buy a pair of these, not a pair, set of these. These are for brake lines. They grab a hold of more of the nut that the brake line's on. You can see that slot right there so you can get it over the actual brake line down onto the nut. These will save you so many headaches because brake lines suck and you're still likely to break one or bend one or have one go to hell on you, or I don't know. Where do you guys work? Maybe there. Hopefully you can see some stuff there. But anyways, this guy, I don't know, is it that one? Nope, it's this side. So we are looking at a 3/8. So that slot, like I said, if you're not familiar with these, you can grab them right at anywhere. I think I ordered these on Amazon. They're Quins or something like that. They maybe were Harbor Freight, I don't know. But they slide over the brake line and then down onto this nut. And maybe that's the wrong size too. Yeah, it is 7/16. I felt a little, I don't know if I have the right size. I do have the right size. I'm coming. Wait for me. Don't do the job without me. Now, is it 10? Nope. 9mm? 10mm. That's the one. Typical 10mm. Now, oh, it's coming right out. I can't believe this is happening. Look at that. That is phenomenal. That never happens. And they were so corroded. It's coming right out. I am so gonna jinx myself here. I'm gonna leave that for right now. I'm gonna get these other bolts out first. We didn't need the torch. It's like a hero moment. I'm a proud dad right now. Gotta see what size those are. Caliper bolt, 19s. Where'd it go? That one. Is it this one? This one? We're not gonna be able to get this in here, are we? Maybe. This one, poor old, this is like first DeWalt 3/8, and it just kind of, it's luster. It doesn't have what it once had, but what are you gonna do? Let's see if the new stubby has it. If not, we'll have to get a big bar on it. Wow. What about the bottom one? Nope. All right, big bar time. All right, let's see if we can break something. Oh, did you hear that noise? Oh, it's the sound of relief. Got that one loose. Now let's see if this guy will come loose. Holy hell. There it goes. Almost knocked you guys out. Oof, the May. We got brake fluid dripping on us now. Here's the 4th of July the other day. Still feeling patriotic, gentlemen. Is this thing ever gonna come out? There it goes. All right, we'll set these right up over here. Now, usually when you're doing brakes and you're just doing pads and possibly rotors, you wanna get like bungee cord, or you can just hang your caliper right in this area. But we're replacing ours, so we just gotta put our wrench on there. Wherever I put it, I don't know. Here it is. Take this line off the rest of the way. Maybe I'll grab a pig mat. If you don't know what that is, I'll show you. This is a pig mat. I know it looks like a big paper towel, but it's not. They're very absorbent, and they work great when you're spilling oil and stuff. Keeps it off the floor somewhat. Get off of there. Why are you fighting me? All right, we'll try to do this relatively quick, and I'm just gonna let that brake fluid drain out because it's old and crappy anyway, and I'll just fill it back up. Oh man, oh, these things are so bad. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, get off my Lanta. That thing is so seized on there. It's coming. There it is. Obviously, people, don't do that. If you plan on reusing your rotor for whatever reason, don't do that. It's a horrible idea. All right, come over here for a second. Show you what's going on here. So, oh, new. You're really dirty. Hang on. That's better. Now, if you look down in there, there's no pad left on that side. There's minimal pad left on that side. And then, wait till you see this guy. Look at how horrible that is. You see where the pad cut right down through, and then this whole outer layer is already rusting off and falling off from when I was hitting on it. It's just breaking all this loose rust off. Look how corroded in. This is not dirt. That's all rust. And then this is our beautiful new stuff. Look at how nice that is. New, old. That should be a pretty drastic improvement. I'm looking forward to that. So let's put these things on. We got a lot of work to do. First, we got to clean this thing up. We don't want to leave that all junky and rusty and crappy looking. We need the air compressor and we need a wire brush. Stat. I'm coming. I'm on my way. Actually cleaned up really nice. We don't even need a wire brush. Now what I am gonna do is I either use, what the hell's in my anti-seize, But I picked up some of this spray grease from Amsoil, white lithium spray grease. Don't get it on the actual moving parts of the brakes. Don't get it on your rotor. But I'm gonna spray it on this hub surface here and see if that helps for the next brake job. Something like that. Coat that real good, and then let's grab our rotor. Powerstop's nice to provide you with a sticker that tells you where it goes. Well, we just had an interesting experience. Just went and rescued a kitten from an engine compartment in a car. That's a first for me. Isn't that fancy? It's fancy. All right. So what I'm gonna do is, while we are mounting our caliper and stuff on here, I'm gonna just put a lug nut on here to hold this in place so it's not fighting me the whole time. Maybe. Where'd my socket go? Was it this one? No, it wasn't that one. What did I do with it? Oh, I know where it went. It's right there, isn't it? Yep, that's the one. This guy. So, hold that up there, just like that. Now that's on there, nice and snug. Now we can work like genitalia men. All right, grab our 2 caliper bolts. Got our nice new Powerstop caliper here. Slide this thing on. I know you can't see what I'm doing right now, but too bad I'm not stopping. I'll show you afterwards. All right, where'd the socket go now? I need this and this. Get this snugged up quick. That is exactly the recommended foot-pounds that the dealer recommends, built in. Cool. That part's done. Now, show you real quick. So we disconnected this bracket here so the brake line can hang. As you can see, it's dripping away, throwing all that brake fluid on the ground. Be careful with this because it's also hooked to the wheel speed sensor right here wire. These are delicate. Don't yank on that. And we just went back in and put that bolt in and the lower bolt, which are your caliper mounting bolts. Now we are gonna pop out that yellow plug, put the brake line back in. And that, in a nutshell, is your caliper install. We'll just throw that down there. Take this and put that on there like that. Careful you don't bend your brake line too much. And then get this on as quick as you can. Make sure you snug it up and wipe all the brake fluid off of the freshly painted rotors, calipers rather, because brake fluid is nasty stuff and it will eat away at the powder coating if you leave it all on there. So clean it up real good afterwards. 10 millimeter. It will a little brake clean that off. Make sure we don't have any leaks and all is happy. Feels pretty good. Now we can pop this guy back on, hopefully. Why is that fighting me? There it goes. Again, always torque to the recommended foot-pounds. There it is. Wunderbar. I don't see any drips. I think we're good. Brake pad time. Now, one thing I like to do is these brake pads got a lot of like dust and crap on them. I hit them with some brake clean right away. Some people say don't do this. I have no idea why. And I've always done it, and I have yet to have a single issue with any brake job I've done. And then I just take a clean rag, make sure there's no grease on it or oil from anything else, wipe the pad surface down, and clean up any of the crap on it, like so, and then drop them in. Just drop them in and make sure you don't put greasy fingers on them before you send them home. This one will drop in here, like so. And then this pad, the one that goes on the inside, has that little that's the squealer. That's what you start hearing when your brakes get low. I put that one right there towards the inside. And then we need our slide pins and our clips. So you got this little clip here. See the orientation of it? That goes right down in here, in that hole. And then you push that right up in there somehow. Maybe like that. They're a pain in the butt. I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't even always put them in. Get out where you need to be. And then for these slide pins, you're supposed to lube them up a tiny bit. They send you this grease. Again, don't get it on anything important. So we're gonna put a little bit on here. A little will do you. Need a little on each end. And then one of these will go top and bottom. Just like that. They go right through that little metal clip, the other brake pad, and out the other side. A little more grease. Some there. Wonderful. You don't gotta grease the whole thing, just basically where it makes contact with the caliper and the pad, like so. Beautiful. Now, there's one last clip that you need to put on, which is this guy here. And this, basically, if you guys can see this, here, I'll bring you in close. So, you got these two tapered ends, and you got this hook. That hook goes that way, towards the inside. You drop these tapered pins in these little holes on these slide pins. This part's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes, guys, I ain't gonna lie. So, try not to get as frustrated as I do. That one goes in there. So see, they're both up and down, like so. And then you gotta bend it, push it, and hook it so that it goes in through that hole. And now, your brakes are done. There's your final product. Voila, beautiful. Now check this out. That's what was on there. That's what is on there. I am not videoing myself doing that side. Plus there's 6% left in my battery. I'm gonna go put that on the charger and change the other side a lot faster because I'm not recording for you. I do this for you. Just took me 35 minutes to do one set of pads, caliper, and rotor. So that side's gonna take me about 8 minutes. I'll show you when it's all done. I almost forgot. I gotta tell you one important thing. With wheel spacers, red Loctite. Before you put your caliper, your spacer on, just go ahead and get some of this, because once you put the spacer on, you won't be able to get it on here the way you need to. So just lube all of these up. And I also took that white lithium grease and I doused the back of the spacer after I wiped it off. So now we can install these on here. Just like that. I need my socket. Anyways, you get the idea. We're gonna put all those in, torque them to spec, and then we'll move on to the other side. I'll catch you guys when we're all done. Bye. All right, everybody, we are back on the 4Runner. It is another night. It's been a crazy couple days, so we had a delay. This thing's been just chilling on the lift, unfortunately. Look how dirty it is. All right, so we're on the back brakes now. If you got this far, you already saw the front brakes. We already jumped ahead, took the wheel spacer off. Now we're jumping on these brakes. The rear brakes are pretty much the same. Let's extend you guys a little bit. How about that? All right. The rear brakes are pretty much the same thing. Unbolt the caliper, but you have the parking brake in here, and it's kind of a nightmare sometimes. It gets hung up, it gets sticky. So we're gonna see what this one does to us. So we're gonna pop the caliper off real quick. We'll let that set over here and see if this rotor wants to come off or not. So pop this off real quick. It's 217 bolts. One, put this right here. And where's the bottom one? There it is. Two. Whoa. We're dropping parts. Oh, and the back is sore. We poured 50 yards of concrete yesterday and a huge patio. Maybe I'll put a clip in there, but not fun. All right, now should be able to wiggle this off of there. Oh God, it's so crunchy. Oh, there's nothing left. So, you see how it's loose, but it's not coming off? Well, there's an adjuster that you can get into, usually through one of these access holes in the rotor, but it's not visible. So, we're gonna have to beat and pry this thing off of here, I have a feeling. Fun stuff. All right, put a screwdriver on there. The adjuster is not visible anywhere. That's lovely for me. So we're gonna have to just pry that off of there. If we can even, because it's definitely being difficult. Anybody else has any tricks when you can't get to the adjuster to adjust them? Let me know. There she goes. All right, a couple taps, we got her off of there. Set this nasty thing over there. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So, see that wheel right there? That's your adjuster. That moves these inner pads here and here. I've got a little chip in it from me beating on it, but it's fine. We're gonna pretend we didn't see that. We don't need emergency brakes anyway, where we're going. But I need another can of brake clean. We got the fresh brake clean. First, blow all the nastiness out like that. Then we'll hit this thing and just absolutely douse it in brake shield, all up in there. Use all the brake clean. That's what I like to see. Beautiful. Wunderbar. All right, now that's on there. Let's grab our rotor. It's supposed to be prepared for this stuff. Here's our rotor. All right, so we gotta adjust our emergency brake in. Wrong way. See if that's better. Not quite there yet. Like that. And then you can feel it. You just want that emergency brake to a little bit of play there, which is what we got. So now we're good. All right, that should work. That's on there. Now we can attack this pesky caliper here. This guy, what I'm gonna do is before we even touch the brake line, we will put the pads in, and unlike the slide pins in the front, these calipers use these clips. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to show you this, but we'll do our best. So, see that tab there? That goes to the outside edge. So that basically does not go to the inside where the pad sits. Trying to do this while holding everything is not the easiest. So, you see how these clips are on the outside edge, not on the inside edge? That's what you want. And there's 4 of them. You got one's going to go there, another one's going to go here, and then same on the inside, on both sides. So we're going to do that quick. 2, 3, almost. Okay, now 3, last one, and 3. Beautiful. Now you see clips go to the hook side of the clip goes to the outside. Same thing on here. You got the hook on these clips, all go to the outside. Wonderful. And then the other thing they're going to provide you with are these 2 little washers, which when we undo the caliper brake line, this goes above and below on this bolt. So I'll try to show you. I don't know if it's going to come out in camera, but I'll try to show you. This brake line bolt is a 14. Let go. Now you take your bolt and you're going to slide one of those washers on that away. Then you take your brake line, put your bolt through there, and then slide your other washer in. And then, where's our caliper? Do it though, reach around. God. This guy goes like this. Don't forget to pull the plug. That guy, take that out. We don't need that where we're going. Most will advise don't do that with an impact, but that's a very weak impact and I just snugged it up. So don't yell at me on the comments. Now, that's on there. Let's grab our brake pads. Where are they? These are not inside or outside specific. So if you can't figure out how these go in, don't work on cars. Yes, I said that. Probably get some hate for that, but I don't care. Come on, open sesame. And it is a snug fit, but they will go in there. 1, come on, 2. Flip this guy around, send her home. Open this caliper up. All right, now let's grab our, not throw them on the floor, but let's grab our caliper mounting bolts. We'll slam these guys in, maybe not. Come on, where are you? Hello, too good for your home? Go to your home. There it is. All right, we got both of those started. Now we will torque these to the proper spec, like that. Oh, we don't need that anymore. All right, those are torqued to the proper specs, and our brake lines are on, and voila, we now have rear brakes. We just got to finish that up on the other side, put our wheel spacer back on, be good to go. Remember what I said, put some anti-seize, or I'm trying white lithium grease on the back side of these so it doesn't rust to the rotor, and put your red Loctite, not on those studs. Yes, capiche? Good. One thing I wanted to share with you guys that I completely didn't tell you before. I'll show you on here because we already have the wheel spacers on. See these 2 screw holes? These are threaded. They're in every rotor. They're threaded holes. So when your rotor's stuck on, like it was, and you saw me tap it with a hammer and it just knocked loose, if they're really stuck on and they're not coming off, or if you need to take your rotors off and you're not replacing them, you got to service something, you put a bolt in each one of those holes and you just tighten the bolt down and it pops the rotor loose very easily. And a trick, at least on the 4Runners, is instead of trying to find a bolt that fits, this brake line bolt right here fits that rotor hole perfectly. right there. That one and that one. So all you got to do is pop that brake line bolt off. You send that, it's right behind the spacer, but you just send that bolt right through and it'll pop that rotor loose real quick. Super easy. Like I said, I didn't really care because I was replacing my rotors, so I just smacked it with a hammer. Big hammer. BF8. Big hammer. Yes, we love that. Rear brakes are on. Spacers are on. All 4 corners. Looking wonderful. Now, in order to bleed your brakes, you generally need a friend, and you work your way around the vehicle and blah. We are going to be trying something new. We are going to use one-way bleeder valves, but you're going to have to stick around for part 2 because this video is already too long. So if you want to see how I bleed the brakes by myself, possibly, I've never used these before, but we're going to attempt to use them. I'll show you very quickly what I got. So I went on Amazon, I grabbed 4 of these bottles. You don't have to do that. You can use whatever, soda bottles, Gatorade bottles, anything like that. And I grabbed, see that little valve right there? That's a one-way valve, and it comes with these little pieces of hose. I also bought a roll of tubing because I want them to be longer than the 6 inches that are provided in these things. These were cheap. I think they were like 15 bucks, but you can reuse them. It's not like a throwaway product. Same thing with the bottles. So now I have a little 1-person brake bleeding kit, and you can hook up all 4 corners and do it that way, or you can do 1 corner at a time. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I've never done it that way. Some people say you can bleed all 4 corners. We are also going to be draining the brake fluid in this. So what I am going to be doing, attempting to do in the next video, is I'm going to suck out all the brake fluid out of the reservoir. I'm going to put fresh brake fluid in there. I'm going to hook up all the bleeder valves, and I am going to pump all the remaining fluid in the lines right out the calipers into those bottles, and just keep refilling the master, the reservoir, under the hood so that we keep fluid in there, hopefully not get any air in the lines, until fresh fluid starts coming out every corner. That's the plan. I'll probably crack the first 2 and in the rear and bleed both rear brakes at the same time first, and then do the front, and then push fresh fluid through all of them. I'm sure that's not the right way to do it, but it's how I'm going to try to do it because, again, I don't have a friend around to push the brake pedal for me on short notice, nor do I have a friend around that wants to bleed brakes at 10 p.m. on a Friday night. Hence why I'm in the shop by myself. Late nights, bad ideas. We made progress on the IROC. My buddy Ronnie came over from Fully Loaded. We got spark now. We still don't have fuel at the injectors, but he says he thinks he figured out the wiring, which that's Chinese to me. I don't understand. He said he thinks he figured it out. So when next time he comes back, hopefully we can fire up the IROC, hear that thing run, and you will be seeing Karma get stripped down the rest of the way because we got to paint the cab and get the cab back on it. That is critical because I'm literally at a week. I have 1 week left. You guys are going to see this video Sunday morning. What is it going to be? The 12th? Something like that? I think the 12th. July 12th would be Sunday morning, maybe the 13th. I don't know. Anyways, you're going to see this Sunday morning unless you watch it sometime in the future. But I basically have 1 week to pull the cab off, sand, prime, paint the whole cab, Raptor line the floor, because I'm going to Raptor line the floor, reinstall the cab, reinstall the fenders, reinstall the doors, reinstall the seats, steering, front core support, and all that good stuff so that we can ship it off to the cage builder for its badass custom 25-3 cage. I am pumped for that. And also, we will have a video coming out. I don't know what I'll release next week. Maybe I'll release multiple videos next week. But the budget shop truck, the ultimate budget build shop truck, the GMC Canyon, we already have a pile of parts showing up for it. We have parts on the way for it. We scored some big deals on Marketplace again. I've been really clicking it off on Marketplace, and I got some friends that might have parts we need. So with that said, stick around for bleeding the brakes on the 4Runner. We have Karma footage coming up, and we have Havoc, the ultimate shop truck build, coming up. Lots of cool stuff coming up. Oh, one last thing. Huge car show tomorrow morning. I got to get Kong ready first thing in the morning. We are doing our Vet to Vet annual fundraiser. Local veterans, we've raised over $10,000 the last couple years. We started this 5 years ago, and every year we raise more money. We have awesome raffle prizes, awesome burnouts. You'll see Kong in action, hopefully, and a bunch of other people that are all lighting them up for our veterans. So God bless you guys. Thank you for your service. We appreciate you more than you, at least most of us do. So big thank you from my family to all our veterans out there. We love you guys. We got your back. And that's it. I'll throw some footage up of the car show. Remember guys, nothing stays stock. I am out.